Hello, welcome to Scientific Reasoning module. I'm Weiwei Wang. I'm an assistant professor at Agricultural Science Education and Communication and Curriculum Instructions in Purdue University. In the Scientific Reasoning module, this is the first one, has total 4 modules. Module 1 focuses on data and evidence. Module 2 focuses on reasoning. Module 3 discusses scientific investigation, and Module 4 summarizes models in 1, 2, 3, and help you apply scientific reasoning in your classroom. In Module 1, you will focus on what is scientific reasoning, data, and evidence. What is scientific reasoning? Definitions are varied in the literature. For example, some scholars think it is a type of reasoning that involves the generation of hypotheses and systematically testing of a hypothesis. As for us, we adapt Zimmerman's definition that we think scientific reasoning is encompass core reasoning and problem-solving competence and involving inquiry, scientific investigation, evidence evaluation, inference, and interpreting results as the evidence that support or refutes the hypothesis. There are 2 critical components involved scientific reasoning. One is conceptual understanding, and the other one is inquiry skill. You can treat conceptual understanding as knowledge that you need to use for scientific reasoning. For example, if your energy bill was off the chart in December and you want to lower your energy bill, what would you do? First, you might want to know how energy transfer in your house, where you lost the most energy. That kind of knowledge is domain-specific knowledge. Then, you might want to do an experiment. For example, you lower your house temperature from 70 to 65, and you turn on the fan because you know hot air rise, so you assume turn on the fans will help the air float. You wonder by doing this if you can keep your house warm enough when you reduce temperatures in your house. Knowledge that you understand how to conduct experiments is what we call domain general knowledge. Domain general knowledge relates to the inquiry skill. In the next slide, we will focus on scientific reasoning skill, which is knowledge plus inquiry skill. Scientific reasoning involves inquiry, scientific investigation, evidence evaluation and inference, and argumentation. In this professional development, we will particularly focus on scientific investigations, which is the module 3, and evidence evaluation and inferences, which is this module and the module 2. How to conduct the scientific investigation? How do you justify reasoning evidence to inference? Those are the 2 modules, those are the 2 concepts that we particularly wanted to focus on. Scientific reasoning involves scientific inquiry. Inquiry involves seeking information or knowledge by question. Inquiry is not so much about seeking the right answer, are really appropriate resolutions to questions. The information that you are seeking to answer your questions or find an appropriate solution to your questions also can be called data or evidence. How data and evidence are different. Data is raw information with no judgment attached. Evidence is a pieces of information that supports conclusion. Data is like what you see when you just open a box of puzzle that you don't know what that is about. Evidence is like you trying to find the same colors and patterns of puzzle and trying to match them. When you finally see an outline of the picture of the puzzle, you start to guess what is the puzzle about. You are making an inference. In a K-12 education setting, you can find data and evidence through personal experience, scientific experiment, observations, books, internet, and so on. In a K-12 education setting, a teacher asks his students to conduct a scientific investigation to collect the data and evidence to solve a problem. How much do our students know to conduct a scientific investigation will have influence on the quality of the data and evidence that are collected. Additionally, how students analyze and interpret data also will impact the quality of scientific evidence. There is no perfect study. Scientific investigation might have issues that relate to how they were designed and how data were analyzed. What factors might affect the credibility of quality of evidence? Not all the data and evidence have the same quality or credibility. Here are some factors that might have affect the credibility and quality of the evidence. For example, how is the scientific investigation designed? What are the limitations? How consistent of the result? How directly the evidence answer the questions of interest? How precision of the effect estimate? Does the investigator has a bias when he or she analyze and interpret the data? Helping students understand the credibilities and quality of the data that evidence that they collect is a critical step to conduct the scientific reasoning. Now, we're going to use a true crime case, Delphi murders, to help you learn more about data, evidence, and inference. On February 14, 2017, the bodies of Abby, Williams, and Libet Germans were discovered on a hiking trail in Delphi, Indiana, United States, after the young girls had disappeared from the same trail that previous day. 4 years later, there has been no arrest in the case, and this was a sensational case happens in Indiana. In these activities, you will act as a citizen detective who utilize his and her or her sense and expertise to aid in the solving of the crime. You will use the two credible websites in the slide to complete the worksheet. You could find the worksheet in the Google Classroom as well. Uncovered is a Codecase platform that uses the power of collective impact to bring the peace to the family of murder or missing people by combining data, technology, and the wisdoms of the community. Another website is the official website for Abby Williams and Libby Germans, for the news and the information portal. The worksheet is color-coded. Green is information, which is evidence, that you'll find from the website. Blue is the hypothesis or the inference that you generate after you gather enough information. There are conflict information that you might find from the website, or the information that you are not sure or like to acquire more to help you support or refute your hypothesis or inference. You can put them into the red section. Each question has sub-questions that help you organize your thinking. Please use the website and write down as many details as possible when you answer the question. Please take your time to complete the worksheet. You will continually use the worksheet in Module 2. Therefore, the more information that you can put into the worksheet will help you understand the case more, and that will help you do the Module 2 activities. Now, please pause the module here. Resume the module when you complete the worksheet and ready for some example answer. This activity might take you some time, depends on your interest to knowing this case more. Okay. In this case, those are the examples from mine. In this case, data are two girls. 1:38 p.m. Freedom's Bridge Trail. Evidence could be around 1:38 p.m. The girls were dropped off at a parking lot just down the road from the main entrance to the Freedom Bridge Trail. The examples answer from my worksheet. For example, what do you know about what happened to Abby and Libby between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.? Around 1:38 p.m., the girl would drop off at the parking lot just down the road from the main entrance to the Freedom Bridge Trail. At 2:07, Libby took pictures of Abby on the Monument High Bridge. The information Cheyenne was not clear about the arguing couple. That's the information I wanted to know more. When Cheyenne says she knows the arguing couple, what did she mean by that? Did she mean that she knows them as a neighbor, as a friend? Or did she recognize them on the bridge? If I have more information, I can pin down a closer times when the murders happens. My inference, which is my hypothesis in this case, is between 2:15 to 3 p.m. in the forest of the south side, the Monument High Bridge, based on the bridge guide videos that Libby captures in Cheyenne's testimony. Now, we're almost finished this module. Please complete the reflection question in the Google Classroom before you start Module 2. What is scientific reasoning? What is data? What is evidence? How might you teach scientific reasoning in your classrooms? How could you add scientific reasoning in your incubation design challenges? In the Module 2, we will continually use the true crime case, Delphi murder, and the worksheet to dive into evidence evaluation and inferences through the reasoning process. Those are the inferences for the Module 1. Reference for the Module 1. The project is funded by USDA NIFA to promote STEM and agricultural literacy. A big thank you to Dr. Neil Nabla and graduate students Brianna Nielsen, who reviewed the module and gave constructive feedback. Also, Dr. Crystal Hans, who helped review the content and ensure that I provide accurate information about the Delphi murder in the module. Thank you for listening. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions.